You know, in the world of e-commerce, we all know the titans, right? Amazon, Alibaba, they're household names. But what if I told you there's another giant, kind of hiding in plain sight, a company that's built an entire empire by solving a problem most other players won't even touch? Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on GigaCloud.
Seriously, just think about that for a second. It's not like you're shipping a book or a pair of shoes. You can't just pop it in a box and hand it to your local mail carrier. That journey, from a factory floor halfway across the world to your front door, well, it's a complete logistical and financial nightmare.
And that exact nightmare is what GigaCloud, or GCT, was built to conquer. I mean, they didn't just find a workaround, they literally built their whole business around taming this beast. So the question is, how did they do it? Let's break it down.
All right, so here's our game plan. First, we're going to dig into the massive problem they set out to solve. Then, we'll look at GCT's amazing ecosystem. After that, we'll get into the nitty-gritty of why the future looks so bright for them, and we'll wrap it all up with the one big takeaway you need to know.
Okay, let's just cut right to the chase here. When you look at GCT's entire business, it all points to one thing. They made a huge, gutsy bet on big, bulky stuff. And you know what? It looks like a bet that's structurally built to pay off for a long, long time.
And look, this isn't just wishful thinking. This conclusion comes from a really deep dive into their business. So over the next few minutes, we're going to unpack exactly why a statement this bold actually holds a ton of weight.
You know, to really understand GCT's genius, you first have to appreciate the battlefield they chose. They jumped headfirst into a market that the biggest names in e-commerce have pretty much avoided, and for some very, very good reasons.
And this right here just lays out the absolute chaos of it all. Imagine you're a seller. You're trying to coordinate with one company for ocean freight, another for warehousing, and yet another for that final delivery. The costs, they can just blow up without warning. And trying to track where your product actually is, forget about it. This is the exact pain point that GigaCloud was designed to eliminate.
So let's be crystal clear. GCT isn't trying to be the next Amazon. They're not playing that game. Instead, they very smartly carved out this super specific, high-barrier niche. We're talking furniture, big appliances, home gyms, all the heavy, awkward stuff that requires a totally different logistical playbook.
So how on earth did they solve this mess? Well, they built their own private highway. Yeah. Instead of trying to navigate the public roads of logistics with all the traffic jams and detours, GCT created their own seamless end-to-end system that they control from start to finish. It's like a digital highway just for big stuff.
And here's what that looks like in the real world. A manufacturer in, say, Vietnam lists a whole container of patio furniture on GCT's online marketplace. GCT then handles the shipping across the ocean and stores it all in one of their warehouses in the US. Then, when a retailer in Ohio needs that furniture, they just buy it on the site, and GCT takes care of the final truck delivery. It's one single, smooth transaction. So simple.
This chart is where you can really see the difference in their DNA. Amazon's incredible power comes from its massive network effect for small packages. But GCT's power, what we call its moat to keep out competitors, comes from owning the physical stuff, the warehouses, the shipping contracts, the whole 9 yards for big items. They aren't just a website. They are a logistics beast with a marketplace cleverly built right on top.
Okay, so we get the model. It's smart, it's different. But is it a good business? Let's get into the evidence and see why this model isn't just clever, but a real engine for long-term growth.
It really boils down to these 5 key pillars. They're in a niche that is super hard for anyone else to just jump into. They're doing something rare, growing fast, and actually making money. Their all-in-one system is incredibly difficult to copy. Plus, the bigger their marketplace gets, the stronger it becomes. And all of this is happening while they're riding the massive wave of global B2B e-commerce.
And the proof is in the pudding, right here in the numbers. This isn't just a nice story. It's actually happening. You can see strong, consistent growth year after year, both in the total value of all the stuff sold on their platform, that's the GMV, and in the actual revenue GCT brings in. This is exactly what it looks like when a company is winning its market. Now this is the real kicker. Unlike so many tech companies that just burn through cash for years chasing growth, GCT is already profitable. Because they control the entire logistics chain, they can manage their costs incredibly well, which means they keep healthy margins. And believe me, as any investor knows, that combination of fast growth plus profitability, that's the holy grail. This quote right here from the company's leadership really gets to the heart of their entire strategy. It's their North Star. They know their true power isn't just the website where people click buy. It's the entire ecosystem, the warehouses, the ships, the trucks that makes that click even possible in the first place. That is their long-term vision.
Okay, but let's be real for a second. No business is a sure thing, right? No investment is without risk. So, to really get the full picture, we have to look at the potential bumps in the road and weigh them against the opportunities that lie ahead.
So on one side, yeah, you've got some real risks to keep an eye on. New competitors could pop up, supply chains can get messy, and of course, there are always geopolitical tensions. But then you look at the other side. The opportunities are huge. Expanding into new countries and new product types, using AI to become even more efficient, heck, even gaining more pricing power as they become essential. When you weigh it all, the long-term opportunity here seems to really outweigh those risks.
So if you remember just one thing from all of this, let it be this. GigaCloud is not just another e-commerce website. It is a logistics company first and foremost. It's a marketplace that was engineered from the ground up by logistics experts to solve a problem that almost nobody else can. That is their identity, and that is their ultimate competitive advantage.
And that really leaves us with one final massive question to chew on. As our world gets more connected and as e-commerce for everything continues to explode, could GCT's unique, specialized model become one of the quiet, hidden engines that powers the future of global trade for all things big and bulky? Based on everything we've seen, it's a very real possibility.